If you're still opening your raw files inside of DxO PhotoLab 9 and tweaking contrast, sharpness, and exposure manually, you are wasting time at your desk. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get DxO PhotoLab to do a lot of the auto lifting for you by applying a preset to all of your images. And the best part about this is you can make different presets for RAW or for your JPEG images. If we're meeting for the first time, my name's Chris, and I help photographers learn photo editing software so they can edit confidently and efficiently. If that's something that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to pick up DxO PhotoLab or any software over on the DxO website, consider using the coupon code FWP15. This is an affiliate coupon code, and I do make a commission from everyone who uses it. However, that's at no extra cost to you. It's a great way of supporting the channel. So, what is an auto preset? An auto preset is simply a set of instructions that we give to PhotoLab that tells it what to do based off of the file type that it's opening. Inside of PhotoLab, you can only choose presets for either a RAW file or a raster image like a JPEG, TIFF, or PNG. I'm going to show you exactly how to apply that right now. For those of you who are on a Mac, what you'll do is come up to the upper left corner, click on DxO PhotoLab 9, and then if you come halfway down, you'll see an option that says Settings. You can also use the Command and Comma keyboard shortcut. If you happen to be on a PC, what you'll need to do is click on Edit, and then hover all the way down to Preferences. And then when you click that, you should get the exact same dialog box that's here on the screen now. The dialog box is broken up into a few sections, but the only one we need to worry about today is here inside of the General section. And then we'll come down to the middle of this box. You'll notice that we have an option here that says Auto Apply Presets, and then one says for RAW images, and the other one says for RGB images. Now, before we dive too far into this, I do want to take some time just to read this little section down here. When discovering a new image, DxO PhotoLab will automatically apply a preset by default to correct your image and provide you with the best basis for editing. You are free to manually choose any presets available in the application or create and use a custom one. If you prefer to start with a blank slate, just choose no corrections as the default preset. Here for the raw images, you'll notice that I have DxO Style Natural. This is the one that comes with DxO. It's not a custom preset. Everyone who has access to DxO PhotoLab, you will have access to this particular preset. As soon as I click this, you'll notice that I get all of my presets that are available to me. You may not have the film pack presets. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. You don't need them for this particular tutorial. However, if you do and you want to use one of those, you can absolutely do that. However, if you are like me and you want to apply the DxO Style Natural, then you can just click on the drop down here and you'll click on DxO Style Natural. You also have a few other options that you can click on and choose based off of what you want. Again, if you don't want anything to happen, you want to select no corrections. And so right now, whenever a raw image opens, if I have no correction selected, that's what DxO is going to do, or PhotoLab is going to do. It's not going to apply those. However, it also mentioned if you create a custom preset, you can select that. Now, I did create a custom preset, FWP Deep Contrast, because I personally like deep contrasty images. And so I'll show you what that looks like on an image here in a second. But I do want to note that if you create that, it should show up here at the bottom. In this particular tutorial, I am not going to be sharing how to create presets. And so if that's something you're interested in, one, leave a comment down below letting me know that you are interested, and then stay tuned as I create those videos that you are suggesting down in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and select DxO Style Natural because that's what I typically like to apply to my images. And the reason for this is it is a very subtle approach to correcting my raw files based off of the way that I like to shoot out of camera. The second option here for RGB images. Earlier I talked about JPEG, TIFF, and PNG. Those images you typically don't want to apply the exact same preset to. Sometimes you want to modify those individually different, and based off of what type of camera you're using, it may not be wise to try and apply a generalized preset, especially if you let your camera make a whole lot of decisions for you. And so instead of doing the DxO style natural, I personally just like to apply the optical corrections, because in most cases that's going to be helpful, and it's also going to complement the work that I've done with a JPEG file. And so that's the reason why I choose DxO optical corrections here. Now, of course, you can click the drop down and select either one of these other options if you so choose, but I don't recommend it. I don't think that you're going to get much out of it, and I can't say that I'm helping you edit confidently and efficiently if I'm recommending that you apply a preset to a JPEG file that will modify colors and tone. Just can't do it. And so once you're done, you can go ahead and just close out this box. And the next time that you open a raw image, you will get the edited version. And that's exactly what we have here on the screen. Now, I mentioned that I was going to share with you that deep contrast preset, if you will. And so in order to access that, I'm just going to come up here to the upper right, click on presets, and inside of the general purpose presets, I have my FWP deep contrast. And so if I click this, well, PhotoLab is going to change all of its settings in order to mimic that look. Now, this is something that I personally like to apply on the images as I'm working, because not every image is going to need this. And so my recommendation is, if you know that you have a very generic look, then you can apply that as your auto preset. Otherwise, I recommend keeping your custom presets as something that you apply as you go through, because you'll spend way more time trying to correct something that PhotoLab is applying automatically for you that you didn't actually want on the image. And again, I can't recommend that, because then I would be wasting your time at the computer. But you can see with this particular image, it works out just fine. But if I click on this image, well, if I were to apply my preset, it does not look that good. And so that's the reason why I would not recommend doing those custom presets unless you have a very gentle and subtle hand. Now, this was just a general overview, but I do believe that this is a very powerful tool that a lot of people overlook inside of PhotoLab. But if you want to learn more about using PhotoLab, consider signing up for a training call with me. A link for that can be found in the description box below. Until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.